February, but the fix is a free software update. The recall also includes 2017 through 25 Model 3s and Model Y vehicles built since 2020. Or you can call Tesla customer service. Therese Crowley, Fox News.
In final news, are you dreaming of a white Christmas? Here's a report prepared by AFN's Robert Thornton.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
The National Weather Service defines a white Christmas as having 1 inch or more of snow on the ground Christmas morning. Climate.gov says climatologically, for better odds of a white Christmas, you'll want to be in Minnesota, Maine, upstate New York, the Allegheny Mountains of Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, and practically anywhere in Idaho, the Rockies, or the Sierra Nevada mountains. Outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center show most of the U.S. will be above average in temperatures the rest of the month of December. Fox Weather's Steve Bender.
We are actually tracking towards maybe the worst potential for snow coverage. We're lagging behind last year, so not a good chance. When's the last time we had a white Christmas? New York City, 2009, along with Philly and D.C. And the outlook looks like we're going to still be waiting after this year.
On average, if you live in areas like the West Coast, Gulf Coast, and the Deep South, you have less than a 10% chance of a white Christmas.
And may all your Christmases be white.
I'm Robert Thornton.
And that's all our time for now. Find more news on AFN.net. It's not just what you hear on the radio at the top of every hour. Visit AFN.net for Associated Press material, columns, videos, even a political cartoon. It's all there on AFN.net. Thanks for listening.
Do you want to prepare for God's calling on your life to ministry? Many people have a sense that God is calling them to ministry, but they don't know the next step to take. Here's a step that may be for you. Wesley Biblical Seminary offers a new Bachelor of Arts in Christian Ministry that's entirely online, and it will prepare you for whatever ministry God calls you to next. We want to equip you with knowledge and tools you need to confidently fulfill the calling that God has put on your life. Learn more at wbs.edu. That's wbs.edu.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
You're talking theater or movies, folks.
That's my wheelhouse.
That's right.
So I sold one of my kidneys, and we bought us tickets right behind home plate. It's worth it.
Under normal circumstances.
Under normal circumstances.
Bingo. Old dog Candler.
You're right back in it, Tim.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Friday. Trivia Friday right here on American Family Radio. Thanks for joining us on this December the 20th, 2024. I'm Tim Wildmon with Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning,
JJ
Tim.
Jasper, how you doing, brother?
I'm glad to be here. If I can throw out a little PSA, public service announcement.
Sure.
Do you suffer from POPD? If you or someone you know suffers from POPD, help is available. Perfect ornament placement disorder. Contact the services of Wildmon, Jasper, and Vitagliano. We'll get you the money you deserve.
Perfect. Say that again.
Perfect ornament placement disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a class action lawsuit would help. And
If you got
the
that
three of
disorder-
us, we're going to get them the money they deserve.
I've seen people get in arguments over that about where to put something.
Is this speaking from personal experience?
No, I've just observed it from afar.
From afar.
Like the fireman / wise man. Hey, look, Melanie, I'm married to Mrs. Claus.
Right.
And from stem to stern, our whole house is Christmas.
Yeah.
And we, the little one, the twins, when they were only about 3 years old, we want to help. And our son Bodie, who has Down syndrome, he put 5 red balls right there together and was so proud of it. I mean, 5 right on one little limb. And it was, Melanie being a wonderful mom, I got to leave it because his chest is out. He's got that Barney Fife thing going on. Here's my contribution. And we left that on there, and it was everything in me. Not like,
got to move it. Got to spread them around.
I got to separate those.
Can't clump up the red all in one spot.
Yeah.
All right, Trivia Friday is also known as Learning University. So we're going to ask 3 questions each here, and we're going to ask you to call in and answer one of them and ask us a trivia question. What's the phone number, Ed, and who's eligible?
All right, it's 888-589-8840 is the number to call if you want to be on the show. Now, we do ask if you have been on the air with us, in the last 2 months, 8 weeks. Wait a week and allow others who have never gotten through to have a shot at that. So 888-589-8840 is the number to call to be on the show. We do ask that you be 11 years old or older to call in. And so if you've not been on with us for the last 8 weeks, today is your day. Go ahead and call 888-589-8840. Now, Tim mentioned each of us are going to ask 3 questions each. JJ, one of those questions is kind of special.
Yes, sir. One of these is a mystery question. One of these original 9 questions is a mystery question, and if you happen to land on it and answer it correctly, you're going to hear this sound. The beloved cowbell. And that's an angel's not getting their wings when you hear that sound.
Nor bulldog.
We want to make sure that we keep our theology accurate. But
That's right.
that means you're going to win yourself a real nice, brand new. It's only been out a couple of months. Brand new AFR ball cap.
That's right.
Those really are good looking.
Right, which we normally have in the studio, but we don't have today.
Yeah, I needed one more gift.
I think
I'm
they
so
sold
sorry.
out. You needed one more gift, so you stole our AFR hat. Okay.
Nothing says Christmas like stealing something. That's even the next level of regifting, isn't it?
Yeah,
no,
right.
I didn't get the hat. I don't know what happened.
By the way, if you would like to get a hat now, I don't think you can get it in time for Christmas at this point, but post-Christmas, we'll be staring right in the face of spring, folks, and you need a good hat when it comes to spring. Go to resources.afa.net. That's our resource center, resources.afa.net. Yeah. And that is where you can purchase one.
I'm going to piggyback on that because a whole lot of people get cash for Christmas, and you say, man, I always wanted that Alex McFarland book. Oh, I wanted to get that Tim Wildmon book that just came out. I wanted to get a mug or a sweatshirt. It's a great product, a wonderful price, and it helps the ministry.
Amen.
Nothing says I'm thinking about you than handing somebody cash for Christmas. Does it?
Hey,
I don't even care to go.
Wait, a teenager.
I don't even want to think about it. Here's you a 20, and I'll be happy.
No, teenagers beg to differ. Please,
yes.
please, Grandma, give us.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I like
give
to
us
see
money.
Cash.
Well, the grandmother in line finally, all the hustle and bustle and mingling and mangling with the crowds, she finally just tapped out. She was in line at the bank and getting cash, putting those little white envelopes.
Yeah.
She turned around behind her to somebody in line and said, this way it won't matter if it's 2 sizes too big.
Well, I know that at some point our teenagers, of course, they're grown. They're getting old now. But when they were teenagers, they just begged us to stop trying to pick something out. Can't pick out music for them. You can't pick out clothes because all our choices are wrong.
Right. So they just hand them cash.
Just cash.
That's right.
Just cash.
And I'll tell you,
let's quit pretending.
It did.
We care.
It did kind of ruin Christmas until grandkids came into the picture. Then you could start making it about yourself again.
All right. What are your questions, Ed?
All right. Here are my 3 questions. I'm going to have some Christmassy questions. This first one's not Christmassy, and I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, this is pretty easy. So, Tim, don't diss me.
Okay, I'll keep
You
quiet
think that's going to help? Yeah. You think that's going to call off the dogs?
It probably won't. Here's the question.
How many days are there in the 12 days of Christmas? That's my first question.
Now, it might not be what you think.
That's right.
Of course it might. All right, Carl Douglas had a 1974 #1 song about a form of martial arts popular in movies at the time. What was the name of the song? Carl Douglas.
That was a great song, and I'm not kidding.
Yes, it is.
Allison, she dances to that song every time she hears it.
We heard it somewhere along the line here over the last few days, and I went right to my Spotify and downloaded it.
It's so catchy.
It's such a cool song. Carl Douglas had a 1974 #1 song about a form, and it one of the top 100 one-hit wonders, about a form of martial arts popular in movies at the time. What is the name of the song? Second question. In the Christmas hit Home Alone, What were the names of the two villains who matched wits with 8-year-old Kevin? In the Christmas hit Home Alone, what were the names of the two villains who matched wits with 8-year-old Kevin? And just the first names.
Our listeners just threw their hands on their cheeks and their eyes got large, trying to decide what the answer is.
All right, third question. In the 1966 film, because there's several out now, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what was the name of the person who sang, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch"?
That's a good voice, Ed. Do that a little more of that.
You're a mean one. No, I can't. Listen, all those people who want to be good singers and make it in the singing, I don't want to discourage them by hearing that voice.
Give your physical address so we can gather outside the shower window.
Yes.
And hear you at your best, in your finest hour.
In the 1966 film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what was the name of the person who sang, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch"?
Here's what I've got. First question from the Bible. Where in the Bible does it say everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry? Where in the Bible does it say everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry? Second question, in the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? Third question, my 9-year-old daughter Tegan gave me this question. In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father? In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father?
Yeah, he packed well, too, don't you?
I am your biological father.
He packed well.
Yeah, he really he planned for that trip. Danced along the
got on the little iceberg that
and all
broke
of a sudden
off.
he's in New York. Well, wherever.
I love you. I love you.
All right, so here's my questions. A Christmas question: how many drumming are there in the song "The 12 Days of Christmas"?
That's a good question.
How many drumming are there in the song "The 12 Days of Christmas"? All right, so we refer to a group of people today as Jews, right? I want to know where that term originated from. That calling a group of people, we know them as Jews. Where did that name originate from?
Good question.
That's a good question.
All right, and here's my anatomy and physiology question, which we all expect one from me, don't we?
And we're all so good at it.
Yes. How many ribs are there in the human body?
Under normal circumstances?
Depends if I'm finished with a buffet. It could be more than normal.
In the human body, I should have. How many ribs are there in the human body?
That's good.
Under normal circumstances, yes,
Right,
JJ.
right.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's go to the phones, Ed.
All right, we go first to Virginia, and Mark is on the line. Mark, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Merry Christmas, professors.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Mark.
Like your enthusiasm, Mark.
Yes, Virginia, there really is a Santa Claus. Oh, no, that's where you live. Hey, Mark, answer, or do both, sir.
Both, please.
Which one you want to answer?
Professor Vitagliano's song question.
Okay. All right, so you're talking about the Carl Douglas question or the Grinch?
Yes, that one.
All right. Carl Douglas had a 1974 #1 hit song about a form of martial arts popular in movies at the time. Mark, what was the name of the song?
Okay, I think it was called Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting.
Kung Fu Fighting.
Nice way to start us out, buddy. Oh, hold it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait
now.
for it.
Yes. We got to hear the first part of it.
Oh, yeah, you got to.
All right, everybody. This is a good exercise,
Yes, it is, for old people.
For old people. Got to hear the first part of this. This is a one-hit wonder, wasn't it?
It was a one-hit wonder for Carl Douglas.
Everybody was kung fu.
There you go. All right. Pull that down. I'll listen to it all night.
And I'm gonna listen to it on the way home
I know.
after the show.
You can just listen to that song over and over again. Get your cardio. Get your
Since-
cardio in.
And so we are a Christian radio station. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that probably never got a Dove Award. Hey, Mark, great way to start us out right out of the gate, right out of the chute. A correct answer. What's your question for us?
Okay, so what John Wayne movie did John Wayne say was his worst one?
I think it was a musical, guys, but I don't know the name of it. He was in a musical, and it was only one.
Cabaret.
Was that what it was? Cabaret?
With Liza Minnelli. He did it one time. He said, I'm never doing it again. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
You look it up.
Yeah, because he said, I'll not do a Perrier Pilgrim. Huh?
Now, there was actually a musical Western with Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood called Paint Your Wagon. And I don't know if John Wayne was in that one or not.
Well, because he had a brown paper bag over his head for most of the movie, and every once in a while you could catch a glimpse that it was John Wayne. Just by the way he staggered when he walked, that signature walk that he had.
There was so many movies that he played in. I'll just say maybe he was in Paint Your Wagon.
Well, I'll tell you, Pilgrim, let's just throw that out there and agree with Ed.
Do you have a guess?
No, Paint Your Wagon.
Paint Your Wagon. That was Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin. It was a musical.
It was well, and I tell you what, sponsorship is a big deal with movies. Sherwin-Williams was the main sponsor for that. It was a big boost for them.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't think that's the answer, but all the movies that I know of that John Wayne was in were so good.
All right, what's the answer, Mark?
Okay, the answer was Jet Pilot.
Jet Pilot. Never even heard of it.
What was his beef with that? Aviation's a good thing.
Well, he just thought it wasn't done well.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen. Thank you.
You sleep with those birds, Mark? You got a cot out there with those birds?
I can tell you. I'm going to answer that question for you, Mark. Tell me if I get this right. You cover those birds so that they don't sing all night, right?
Oh, right, yes.
That's a good thing.
You cover them, and they go to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Right.
Okay. All right, Will.
All right, buddy. Mark, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you for listening to AFR.
You cover your birds, and they won't sing.
And they won't. Yeah, they won't make noise. They think it's night.
Well, come to think of it, we did cover our little parakeet when I was a kid. We had a parakeet for a while.
Yeah.
They don't have a long lifespan, do they?
Parakeets?
Few years.
Is that all?
Well,
I don't know.
They don't get vaccines. They don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's their own fault.
Oh my word!
We all make our choices.
You ever try putting a mask on a parakeet? They'll tear you up, man.
A mask on a parakeet?
I'm just kidding.
It's like a circus trick or something?
Social distancing. And
a mask on a parakeet. I got you. All right, you're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Go, Ed.
All right. Hey, let's go back to Virginia. Joe is on the line. Joe, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, professors. It's such a blessing to speak with you today.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Thanks for calling. Have you've been on before, right?
No, sir. This is my first time, actually.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Well, welcome. Where do you live in Virginia?
I'm in the southwestern part of the state. I was blessed to visit your wonderful facility back in 2021, though. I met Brother Bert Harper and several of your news guys, and just a wonderful time.
Well, awesome.
A wonderful visit.
We got a new place. You got to come see our new place now.
Yes, sir. I'll try to prioritize that.
So you talking? You're around Bristol or?
Yeah, fairly close to Bristol. That's correct.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So anyway, well, listen, good to hear from you. And you want to ask, answer, or both?
I'd like to do both. I'd like to start with JJ's question about the be quick to listen passage.
All right. This is from the Bible. Where in the Bible does it say everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry?
I believe that's James chapter 1, verses 19 and 20.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nicely done. James 1, verse 19.
Yeah, and again, what's the admonition?
This is just a portion of it, but everyone, I think it starts out saying, beloved, listen to this.
Yeah.
Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, slow to wrath, it says in King James.
I think the Southerners got that slow to speak part down. I think that's not a problem.
I was thinking I got
slow.
1 out of 3. I don't know if that's a good batting average.
Right. Hey, and look, the old timey preachers to tell you God gave you 2 ears and just 1 mouth.
Yeah,
you know, and that's a great verse for.
Is that in the Bible?
Well, I think that was. No, I don't even know what to say to that. hey, great way. Hey, good reminder too, especially these family gatherings where we're going to have in-laws and outlaws. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. What's your question for us?
And quick to ask them to leave.
I'd like to ask a question about sports, gentlemen.
There we go. Sports. Tim and Ed are ready.
Yes, sir. The college football postseason is upon us, and with that, there's some debate about this, but according to the NCAA, what college has won the most major college football championships?
Okay, now you just said there's some debate about this, so Joe. Okay, so
all right, we're going to talk about.
Are you talking about national championships?
Yes, sir. National championships.
That's Alabama.
It's got to be Alabama.
It's Alabama. There's no debate about that. Around here, but Joe, are you telling us?
He may have a different.
All right,
take
listen.
on it.
The 2 other schools that are right behind them, I say right behind them, not necessarily right behind them in national championships, I believe would be Notre Dame and Oklahoma, and then Ohio State's in that mix right behind them. But
that's a pretty good list, but it's got to be Alabama.
Alabama, yeah. Go ahead, Joe. What's the right answer?
Well, all of those are right in the mix, according to sources I found. But according to the NCAA, for the championships they've recognized, actually Yale has won the most national championships. It's starting in 1960 or 19.
We don't honor that at all. So that you and I both know that's a complete farce. Okay, Yale. Yeah. Okay.
So that must be like late 1800s and early 1900s.
When there were
6 teams.
When there were only 4 teams.
Yeah, and they declared themselves national champs.
Before there was a forward pass.
Yeah. I understand that, Joe, but I think what we're talking about here is like modern day from 1950 forward, maybe I would say. That would be Alabama.
How many, Joe, the research you did, how many times did Yale win it?
Yale actually won 18 national championships, starting about 1870, and actually their latest national championship though was in 1927.
So we're talking Civil War.
Back away.
Right after the Civil War.
Well, and you know what? They would have had more, but they had to pause for the Civil War. And resume their sports career.
All right, Joe.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you,
great,
my friend.
Great question, brother.
I think if you type in modern day college football national championships, you're going to find Alabama. Then you're going to find Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and then Ohio State. I think in that order. All right, you're listening to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Well, you got USC and Texas too. USC.
Yeah, USC.
USC and Texas would be in that mix, I think. All right, back. Can't get anybody.
Can we do? All right, my computer's dead, so. All right, so we're going to go to Kansas.
I think this time of the year appropriate to say my computer's frozen.
Frozen.
I think that would work.
It is. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think we can go to Kansas and get Michael on the line. Michael, you there?
Yes. I want to answer about Home Alone.
All right, here's the question, Michael. In the Christmas hit Home Alone, what were the names of the 2 villains who matched wits with 8-year-old Kevin?
Harry and Marv.
Harry and Marv.
Nicely done,
That
Michael.
is correct.
Nicely done.
Harry and Marv.
What's your question? What's your question for us?
Hiya, pal.
How many Fridays the 13th can there be one calendar year?
How many Friday the 13th can there be in one calendar year?
Man,
there's a limit?
We just had one. There is. There's a limit on everything.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it breaks the internet. It breaks the.
I'm going to say. Hang on, Michael. We're talking. I'm just going to say 4, Because it's like once a quarter, I'm guessing.
I'll go with you. 4.
I mean,
there can only be 4.
How did you come up with
that?
that?
No, I'm going to say 7.
I'm just going by,
mine.
like there's
7
like once
Friday
a
the
quarter,
13th.
there's like 5 Sundays. It's just a guess, really.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 7, just
All right.
to throw out another guess.
4, 7.
I just know there were 1, 2, 3. There's a Friday the 13th one.
There's
Friday the 13th. There was a second one, and then Jason died.
Yeah, I think we're thinking about something else. We're thinking about the Roman Greek.
Then he came back. Then he came back.
Again.
Hey, there can't be more than 48 or 52. All right, what's the answer?
It's a riddle. Actually, it's 3.
3. So that's the maximum.
How do you come to that formula?
Don't know.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to AFR, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. All right, Michael from Kansas. Appreciate you calling. All right, when we get back, we got a couple of Mississippi callers, got a Kansas, a Kentucky, another Kansas. We'll be back momentarily with more of Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
There is in modern Jericho a sycamore tree. Each time I visit Jericho and view the tree, I remember an event which happened in another Jericho a little farther down the road nearly 2,000 years ago. There was a man short in physical stature in that Jericho by the name of Zacchaeus. One day he climbed a sycamore tree to see a traveling preacher who was to pass through the city. He tried to get a position along the roadside, but the crowd kept pushing him back. To solve the situation, he climbed a sycamore tree. This Zacchaeus was a publican. Now, he wasn't a republican, but a publican. There is a difference. A publican was the title given tax collectors in those days. Tax collectors were hated men in Palestine. For the tax collector was a person who worked with those who had captured and were ruling the country. They were men who, more often than not, used dishonest methods to collect more than they should. But tax collectors were rich men. Why did Zacchaeus wish to see this Galilean? What prompted him, a man of his position, to climb a tree to get a view of a traveling preacher? Well, I feel there were 2 motives behind his actions. First of all, Zacchaeus was not liked by his fellow Jews. Other people had nothing to do with Zacchaeus. They excluded him from their ranks. He was not one of them. He was scorned, despised, and rejected by his own people. When Zacchaeus decided to go into the tax collecting business, he knew this would be the case. But he was prepared to face the consequences. The large amount of money he would make would be worth the loss of friendship from others. So Zacchaeus was not liked by his own people. So he climbed a tree, so he wouldn't have to mix and mingle with them. But I feel the other motive behind his climbing that tree was more important. Zacchaeus had finally discovered that he didn't like himself. The more Zacchaeus got of what he liked, the less he liked of what he got. A man can live even when no one else likes him, but meaning goes out of life if a person doesn't like himself. Zacchaeus once thought that money was everything, but like Midas in the story of old, he soon learned that the theory of riches bringing happiness was an illusion. When that preacher passed by Zacchaeus, a wonderful thing happened. Zacchaeus found a friend in him. He found someone who liked him despite what he was and had been. And it wasn't long before Zacchaeus began to like himself again. One of his first acts was to give away great sums of the money he had coveted before he had met that man. What can this Christ do for us? One thing he can do is to set us on the road toward liking ourselves again. and you would be surprised at the number of our problems which that simple act will help solve. To most folks, a sycamore tree has no special significance, but to Zacchaeus, it was the most important tree in the world.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
In him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will. Ephesians 1, verse 11.
American Family Radio.
Oh, that is the fight song for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I did that. I asked that be played in honor of my good friend, Brother Ed Fatagliano.
Thank you, sir.
He is a lifelong Notre Dame fan, and they play the Indiana Hoosiers tonight.
Tonight.
What's the weather in South Bend tonight?
I told Diane, I said, we make no plans tonight.
I think it's frightful.
I don't care.
That's what I heard.
Think it's frightful?
The weather outside is. That's what I've been hearing.
Oh, let's see what the weather is.
Now, Ed,
South
when they're
Bend.
coming out of the tunnel, don't they reach up and slap what is it, the leprechaun? What do they do?
No, there's inside their dressing room, there's a
four-leaf clover?
a plaque. There's a plaque above the door, and I think it's something from Newt Rockney, and they slap it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll have to go watch the movie Rudy again to
maybe that's
actually
where I
read
got
it.
that.
They got
watching
Touchdown
Rudy.
Jesus there, right?
Yes.
At Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I always wondered what that was.
It's a statue of Jesus holding his hands up to
Right,
invite
because it's
the
a
world.
Catholic school.
It's a Catholic school to invite the world to
Right.
come to Christ. But you can see it from the
Football
inside the
stadium.
stadium, so it looks like he's signaling
Like
touchdown.
a referee signals
Yes.
a touchdown, so they called it Touchdown Jesus.
Yeah.
There at Notre Dame. Anyway, that's low 20s tonight in
Low 20s.
in South
Oh,
Bend.
that's nothing for that part of the world.
You're probably right. And Indiana, those are in the same state,
Yeah.
so those two teams will probably
Well,
both
this is
be
one of
used
those
to it.
things where Notre Dame's been, they've been a part of the blue bloods of college football forever. And the Hoosiers, the Indiana Hoosiers, are like new to the party.
Yes.
So this
Had
is
a great season.
They had a great season.
I mean,
and
they you can't compare them to Yale, but
no.
Well, back in the earlier question that we had, when you had all those championships, I'm very impressed that initially they played without any shoes. You're out there playing barefoot in this kind of weather with leather helmets. That's bad
dedication
to the bone,
right there, my friends.
That's dedication.
Yeah, there were no concussions. No concussions back then, were there?
All right, let's repeat our questions, fellas, and back to the phone.
I've had 2 questions answered, so I'm going to have to add a couple. One remaining in the 1966 film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How did the Grinch steal Christmas?
Oh, he was sly.
Yeah.
What was the name
He's a
of the
mean
person who sang You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch? There's an individual who sang that song. He's pretty well known for it.
Soprano.
And I do have, since this is
Wasn't
it
it Soprano?
for Christmas, I'm going to throw this other Grinch question in because I got to get it in before Christmas. In the 1966 version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the song describes the Grinch as having a brain filled with what? The song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, describes the Grinch as having a brain filled with what?
Mush.
Well, don't start
That's
guessing.
what he said to
you
the
may
dog,
get it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Mush.
And I forget
One
the
of
name
those,
of the dog.
One of those, sadly, one of those characters had a lobotomy, which is, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right, my third question. I'll toss in another one. What are free radicals? This is a multiple choice. What are free radicals?
Great band.
Are
Great man.
Here's the deal. That's a bunch of
Misunderstood.
them people out there writing that wasn't paid by George Soros. They just showed up on their own.
They did it for free.
They opened for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Free radicals?
In 89, I went to that concert.
All right, folks, what are free radicals? Here are your choices.
Multiple choice.
Ignore the two on my right and my left. Are they escaped communists from prison? Are they liberal professors at the local college? Are they unstable atoms that stress your body, or are they small blood clots that form after surgery? What are free radicals?
Wow, that's quite the spectrum.
Yes, it is.
Are you done?
I'm done.
I'm impressed. You know what
finished.
a spectrum is, JJ.
That's a pretty big word for Kentucky, boy.
Kentucky
You
boy.
better believe it. Yeah, it just popped up
You
there
just throwing that
right in the mush. Worked its way through the mush to make it to my tongue. Hey, here's what I've got. First question. In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? And if you know your theology, you ought to go right to the answer to that question.
Sure, it's in the Bible.
In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? Second question, my daughter Tegan gave me this one. In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father? And then I'll add one. How many candles are there on a menorah? How many candles are there on a menorah?
All right, here are my questions. How many drummers drumming are there in the song The 12 Days of Christmas? You know, they get you 1, you 2, you 3. How many drummers?
And so on.
Yes, how many drummers drumming are there in the song The 12 Days of Christmas?
I saw a little meme, and it said, teenage Mary just had gotten baby Jesus asleep, and a little boy showed up with a drum and said, what this girl needs is a drum solo. Rumpa-pum-bum.
All right, so the next question I'm going to ask, I've asked it before, but I'm going to offer an AFR ball cap.
Oh, wow.
A free AFR ball cap. If you can get the answer to this question without looking it up, okay? Without looking it up. Nothing wrong with looking up a question, but if you know it just off the top of your head because you've studied it already, that's what I'm looking for. Here's the question. Where do we get the term Jews from? Group of people? You know, or they're you know, I want to know, where do we get the term for the Jews? Where does that originate? And thirdly, from the anatomy and physiology department comes this question. How many ribs are there in the human body? How many, as JJ said, under
normal circumstances?
Under normal
I got
circumstances.
That from you.
How many ribs are there in the human body? All right, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, we go first to Mississippi, and Steve is on the line. Steve, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, esteemed professors of Learning University.
Thank you, Steve.
nothing
We
like being
appreciate that.
esteemed.
We're honored that you would remember we're esteemed. And
yes, sir, Steve. Thank
have you ever
for
been
your
esteemed?
honesty.
Have you ever been esteemed, Steve?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good.
Okay.
Hey, you want to ask or answer or do both?
Let's do both.
Which one you feel confident about, Steve?
Tim, has your question about the number of ribs been answered?
No, sir. How many ribs are there in the human body, Steve?
I think it's 24.
Yes.
Nicely
yes.
done.
24
Nicely
ribs.
done.
You know, I wouldn't have. Did you? Do you just remember that from your high school biology class, or what? Are you a doctor or something?
I wasn't. No, I'm not a doctor. Okay. I wasn't sure, so I had to double check.
Yeah. 24 ribs. That just. It's hard to believe. I mean, you just don't think about that many ribs.
Yep. Rib cage. We really are fearfully and wonderfully made. Boy, the Lord knit us together in our mother's womb.
Yep.
All right, Steve. Very good, man. My friend, you got it right. Now, what's your question for us?
So I'm looking for the year that McDonald's stopped using styrofoam containers for their sandwiches.
The year that McDonald's stopped using
styrofoam containers for their sandwiches.
What do they use today? Like paper?
It's just paper wrapping.
Paper. And I think a little cardboard box.
Oh, okay.
Real thin cardboard.
Styrofoam quit being. What, did they find out styrofoam did something bad, Steve?
Yeah, I think they were trying to be, environmentally conscious or something.
Yeah, here's the deal. I've been around so long. In the early days, the place where I went and got burgers, they was wrapped in asbestos. And they said, you know what, this probably ain't going to work well for everybody in the future.
So McDonald's stopped using styrofoam containers because they're so health conscious. They had to.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
Hey, wait, one of you guys, to both y'all, before we get too farther down this road, do that little sesame seed bun thing. I never was good at that, but my wife and girls, everybody can do that.
Like
to
all
beef,
beef
do it.
patties.
Jump
special-
in there and help them, Steve. Do it with them.
To all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce,
special
cheese,
sauce, lettuce,
pickles
cheese
on a sesame.
on a sesame seed bun.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which you can have it your way.
Yeah, no,
That's Burger
different.
King.
That's across the street.
That's Burger King. Have it your way.
Okay. Is that the one with the little girl?
That's
the redheaded girl?
No, that's Wendy's.
Yes.
Wendy's.
Just say yes. Just tell him
Wendy's.
yes.
You mean the one with the little Chihuahua dog?
All right, hey, we got to come up with it. We got to come up with a
I'm going to say
year.
80, I'm going to say 89.
I'm going to say 1990.
1986.
All right. Which one of them us is right, Steve?
All right. So.
Who's closest? We're competitive.
Mr. Vitagliano was closest.
Did he hit it on the head?
He actually got it. He got it on the head. Now, I've got this off
What
the
did I
internet,
say?
so it's never wrong. But
I said
have an exact
1990,
date
I
of
think.
November 1st, 1990.
Nicely done.
Wow.
Hey,
So-
fist bump
yes.
there.
Oh, listen.
So I remember
You know your
we all-
styrofoam container.
We all remember those
Trivia.
styrofoam containers. Yeah, so I didn't know. But that wasn't a marker in my life. You know what I'm saying? Where I said, this is the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you didn't open up your Big Mac and say,
So
"What?
I'm
Where's
making
the
some life
styrofoam?"
changes right here. I'm going to start eating healthier because they've switched.
Now you say
Before I go, I just want to tell Mr. Vitagliano, I'm sure he'll remember. It's been a while since I called. I kind of poked fun at his three-legged chicken joke, but he was actually nice enough to email me that joke, and I thank him for the gift that keeps on giving.
Okay. Hey, listen, Steve, I assure you, you were not the only one who's poked fun at that joke.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we really do hope that you and your family have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. Thank you for including us, AFR.
Three-legged chicken joke?
I'm not telling it.
Okay.
You guys can forget it.
It started slow,
Yeah.
and then he slowed down some in the middle of the joke, and then he just fizzled out at the ending, and, boy, we jumped on with all fours.
Yeah.
Mostly you,
It's unusual.
Tim.
And admittedly, I'm not like JJ.
Right.
I'm not
a Rolodex of jokes.
I'm not a good joke teller,
Right.
or a good storyteller. JJ has a gift for that, which he frequently abuses, but still. All right, let's go to Kansas, fellas. Kay is on the line. Kay, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Kay. Where are you calling from in Kansas?
Newton, Kansas, right outside of Wichita.
Okay, just north there? Is that north?
Yes, just north, about 15 miles. Uh-huh.
It's like Mennonite country up there, isn't it?
You got it, and that's part of my question. And if you can answer this question correctly, it could be the answer to everyone suffering from COPD, as you talked about earlier in the show.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. What is the name of the spicy little cookie that all ethnic German, and yes, this is a heavily populated Mennonite community, must have at Christmas? All grandmothers say their recipe is the best. So every household makes these, and you share it with your neighbors. So what is the name of the little spicy cookie?
You said that in a way that, Kay, you're going to have to ship us some.
Yes.
And you're going to have to get those in the mail right away, some way, because that's...
Dr. Wildman, listen, they're on the way.
Wonderful.
Here's the deal, Kay. We would try to get them through Amazon, but it looks like a lot of people ain't going to have a Merry Christmas. Them that's ordered gifts from Amazon to their friends and relatives since they've done gone on strike. So we're going to have to get you to send it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
So-
And Dr. Wildman, if you can spell the first three letters, you get an extra batch.
Okay, so the question is, what's the name of the cookies?
Spice cookies.
Spice cookies that is a
little spicy.
Okay. Oh,
I've never heard of this.
No. Oh, man.
Come on, Tim.
Now,
pull
is
it out.
Kay, is this pretty common? I mean, I know in your part of the woods it is, but it's a spice
you will
cookie.
see it
It's a
in
coffee table
magazines,
coffee.
There are books that just have just this recipe in it, and so on. So, yeah, every German family eats these,
It's
whether
a
they're
tip of my
Mennonite or
tongue.
not. Okay.
You're gonna have to tell us. I mean,
Yeah,
Tim's gonna kick himself because it's
Yeah.
right there. All right, what's the answer, Kay?
Okay. Just in English, you would say peppernut. Peppernuts. But in German, it's peppernuss.
Pepper newt.
One of our co-workers is holding a bag of that up to the glass right now.
Yeah.
So everybody knew
She
it.
ran down the hallway.
Everybody knew Carmen is holding that up.
We're in our studio. We're looking through the glass.
Yes. So everybody knew it, but these three kings.
Well,
We've had
Orient.
this. We've had this question before because now I'm looking at the
package.
the packaging,
Yeah.
and I remember this kind of strange spelling of
That's
it.
unusual.
Kay.
We would forget something.
Hey, Kay.
Listen. Yes.
You're in a wonderful area. I was in Newton a couple of different times over the last couple of years, but I'm coming back the last day of May and the first day of June. I believe, and it's a banquet for like a backyard Bible club that's very popular there. And then I'm going to be speaking Sunday morning at the church. And I think it's the very last day of May.
Well,
like
can
on
you bring us
Saturday
back
evening.
some of these cookies?
You know what? I will. If one of you guys, the three of us, can remember, I'll bring some of those back.
Kale bake them for you. Bring them over there to you.
Remember.
But hey, that's open to the community, Kay. It's a banquet, and then I'll be speaking at the church on Sunday morning. If you are nearby,
Y'all planned this, didn't you?
come over. No, we
Kay
didn't.
worked this out where she'd call in and ask you if you're going to be out there. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
the event that JJ will be speaking at, that's open to the public, but when he speaks at the church, that's closed only to members.
Only to Mennonites.
No, I'm sure that's open. Hey,
It's open.
Kay, did you have a
Yeah.
question? I mean, did you want to answer one of our questions as well?
Well, let's see. The menorah, that would be 7.
Here's the question. How many candles are on a menorah? And it's not 7. Good try, though.
Wow.
No.
Is it 9 or 5?
Well,
Well,
we just give you one guess and leave it for the
How many
next
guesses
person.
you want, Kay? How many tries you want at it here? I guess in baseball you get 3 swings. That's what you were thinking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I'll let it go. But
Yeah.
anyway,
All right.
these
God
are-
bless you. Thank you so much.
Now I'm hungry for these cookies.
Well, and I think, thank you, Kay.
We got
and I
some?
think Carmen has some. Someone must
No
have said.
kidding.
Yeah.
So we have some here in the
Wow.
office.
That's what
This
she
is
was
awesome.
holding.
All right. Well,
This
we'll
is
get-
great.
Can you buy them at the grocery store? I know they're not the same, but
I think you have to get them from
or a bakery.
these areas
A
where
bakery?
they're. No, I think they're regional and
wherever you find Germans.
I guess because that's what she said, right? She said it's
Yeah.
a German cookie.
It's a German recipe. All right, we better repeat our questions, guys, real quick.
All right. Question number 1. In the 1966 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what was the name of the person who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch"? Also in that film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" describes the Grinch as having a brain filled with what? And then third question, what are free radicals? It's multiple choice. Are they escaped communists from prison, liberal professors at the local college, unstable atoms that stress your body, or small blood clots that form after surgery?
It's D, all of the above. Them professors, communists, them commies, all of them, every one of them's free radicals.
That's it. That's all. Those are my 3 questions.
Here's what I've got. First question. In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? Second question.
It's attitude.
In the movie,
That's a
you
big
can be
part of life.
anything you want to be.
That's half of it right
Yeah,
there.
you can be anything you want to be. You just have to want to.
Right.
In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father? Third question, how many candles are on a menorah? And the answer is not 7. But that was a good guess.
I would have guessed what Kay guessed.
Yeah.
Here are my questions. How many drummers drumming are there in the song The 12 Days of Christmas? Number 2, where do we get the term Jews from? We refer to a group of people. They're known worldwide as Jews. Where did that term originate? And if you can tell me that without having to even look it up, then an AFR ball cap is going to be yours for free. We'll mail it to you today. Be it to you in 2026. All right, so the a third question. Did I have a third question? No, I'm not going to. We'll go with that. Let's go, Ed.
Next year, Christmas is 12/25/25. That's what it is on the calendar.
12/25/25.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we go to Kansas.
12/25/25. Omaha.
Omaha. All right, we go to Kansas, and Kurt is on the line.
I just came up with that. Just
Omaha?
Top of my head, yeah.
So it had nothing to do with
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning?
He started it, but he got it from me.
All right, Kurt. Yeah, no, I understand.
We're tied up in court for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He stole your German recipe for cookies, too, didn't he? All right, Kurt, sorry to keep you waiting there, brother. Welcome to Trivia Friday.
All right. Good morning and Merry Christmas to y'all.
Merry Christmas, Kurt.
You too.
I'm calling from Topeka.
Nice area
And,
there, the capital area.
Yeah. And I want to do both.
Which one you feel confident about, Kurt?
The Frosty songs.
All right.
Are you German heritage, Kurt?
No, I'm Irish.
Oh, you're Irish. Okay. Well, I just wondered because our earlier caller was asking about a German recipe, and I thought maybe. Well, so you're Irish, your background?
Yep.
Your family heritage?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Kurt, well, go ahead.
Here's the question. The song Frosty the Snowman, in the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life?
A magical hat.
We'll give you that. Old silk hat.
Hey.
Nicely done, buddy.
That's a mystery. Yeah. You got the mystery question, Kurt.
All right.
Yes, sir. You got an AFR travel. You got not a travel mode. You got a ball cap.
That's right.
That's right.
Coming your way, and it's a nice one.
It's an old silk ball cap from AFR.
Old silk ball cap.
You put it on something around the house, it's going to come to life.
So what happened? He got a magical what?
It was an old silk hat, but it's mostly, I guess, in the song, huh? You know, he did this, did that, and then when they put a scarf around him, after they put an old silk hat, or maybe it's in one of those black and white old Christmas movies. But hey, how did you know, Kurt?
Well, I just the movie, and then the song,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nicely done. Hey, when you woke up this morning, you didn't think you were going to win anything, did you?
Nope.
Kurt, I've always wondered, maybe you guys can answer me. Do you think that he really I'm talking Frosty
here. We go.
Frosty. I'm talking Frosty. I've always wondered, did he really come back one day? Remember he said at the end of that song, "Don't cry, because I'll be back again one day."
I can answer that for you because I seen the documentary. He it's more than him just coming back. He come back with General MacArthur. No, I mean, they pulled up right there in a PT boat on the beach. He said, "Boys, not only am I fulfilling my promise made, promise said," and he had his fist up, Frosty did.
Right.
It was more like a branch off a stick. But him and General MacArthur come up on the same PT boat and
Frosty.
said, "We're double dipping, boys.
Yeah.
We
And
both said we'd come back, and here we are."
And he had that little stick fist up, and he was
I'll be
going
back
fight,
again
fight,
one
fight.
That's exactly right.
Oh,
that's in the Bible.
That's a mess. All right, Kurt.
Nicely
listen,
done, Kurt.
You got a question for us, and when we're done on the air, don't hang up. We'll put you on hold.
Oh, we're done.
Sandy will get your information, and we'll get that hat out in the mail.
At this part going forward, we're just trying our best not to get struck by lightning. We're just getting so close to the edge.
I'm just saying, Lord, be accurate with that lightning.
Kurt, what's your question?
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Hey, Kurt, what's your question for us?
Okay. In 1957, Elvis Presley did the song Blue Christmas, and we all think that that's the original. But it's not. In 1947, who originally did it?
I'll have a Blue Christmas.
You got to say blue, blue. Put emphasis on the BL.
Was it okay? Don't say anything, Kurt. We're going to talk amongst ourselves. Wasn't it like Carl Perkins or something?
No,
like that?
Carl Perkins wrote Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh, okay.
Hey, is it a male or female? Can you tell us that much, Kurt?
Male.
But what is a man?
You mean he wrote it, or he's the first to perform it?
He's the first one to perform it.
Guys, let's go back to the Bing Crosby days, Frank Sinatra. Who are some of those crooners?
Probably one of those.
Perry Como?
Probably one of those you just mentioned.
Could be.
Let's all grab one and
Big
hedge
Al,
our bets.
Big Al Mankiewicz. He was big in
Big
the
Al.
40s.
I'm going to say Bing Crosby.
Big Al.
What's that guy's?
He went to prison.
Big Al
That was a
Mankiewicz.
sad
You got a
story.
different Big Al
Yeah.
that you're thinking about.
We don't know the
All right,
answer.
Bing Crosby.
Bing
is who I
Crosby.
say.
Bing Crosby sang White Christmas, but Blue Christmas, I don't know.
Yeah. What's the answer?
Country singer Ernest Tubb.
Really?
Huh.
Ernest, he was the first one. Then Elvis
made it.
covered it.
Yeah.
And made it famous. Huh?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
right.
you think. When you think Elvis, you think blue suede, hound dog, but blue suede shoes, but you certainly think blue Christmas. Yeah. Do it, Tim. Do it. I'll do it, Tim. Don't hold back.
Thank you very much.
Blue.
All right, Brother Kurt.
All
thank
right.
you so
I'm
much.
going to put you on hold. Hang on there, and we'll get your information.
Congratulations, Kurt, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, we got to get Kurt's address there.
Yeah. Sandy's going to get it.
Sandy's our call screener today.
I hope so.
Adam
because-
is our control board operator, so
Yes.
props to both of them.
All right, we're going to take a short time out right here. We'll come back, reset our questions for the last 25 minutes of Learning University right here on American Family Radio. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
When you hear us mention the AFR app, you probably think about your smartphone. We do have apps for Apple and Android users, but it doesn't stop there. If you have an Alexa, we've got you covered. But wait, there's more. Sorry. There's also an AFR app for Roku or Apple TV. So many ways you can listen to your favorite show, podcast, or music. Find out more at afr.net/apps.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. Federal prosecutors are charging a Russian-Israeli national for his involvement in a long-running international ransomware scheme. Fox's Evan Brown has our top story.
Israeli officials now have 51-year-old Rostislav Panev in custody. He is a dual Israeli-Russian citizen, the U.S. Justice Department says, is one of the cyber hackers behind the ransomware known as Lockbit. The Israelis will be extraditing Panev to the U.S. and say he told their investigators how he helped to engineer the weaponized software to take over whole computer networks. The DOJ says Lockbit malware had been used to hijack computer systems across the public and private sectors, from corporations to hospitals worldwide, resulting in hundreds of millions in damages and ransoms paid.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the White House had to manage President Joe Biden's energy unavailability as far back as 2021. Critics of Biden have said for years that he does not have the stamina to be president, but the White House has always dismissed those reports. It also pushed back today against this article from the Wall Street Journal. The Biden administration is canceling federal student loans for another 55,000 workers through an existing program known as Public Service Loan Forgiveness. The Education Department's announcement today targets teachers, nurses, service members, and law enforcement officials, among others, who have reached eligibility through the program, which promises to erase loans after 10 years of work in government or nonprofit jobs. Either way, David McGarry of Taxpayers Protection Alliance is not happy with the announcement.
There's something fundamentally wrong about asking taxpayers to pay the costs of someone else's education.
The Biden administration says it's trying to help people make ends meet, but critics say Biden is just trying to buy support for Democrats. Do states have the ability to defund Planned Parenthood from their Medicaid program? The Supreme Court has agreed to hear arguments over that issue. Now, this case, going before the High Court, involves South Carolina. And talking about this on Washington Watch, Attorney John Bursch of Alliance Defending Freedom, the law firm representing South Carolina, said you have to go back almost 7 years to when the state defunded Planned Parenthood as part of its Medicaid program.
Every state takes Medicaid dollars from the federal government and then distributes those to hospitals and doctors and medical facilities all around the state to provide health care for low-income people. And Planned Parenthood demanded a portion of that.
Bursch said states can defund a medical provider from their state program for a variety of reasons, whether that be endangering patients or not following health and safety standards, for committing fraud and abuse, and any number of other things. For several of those reasons, South Carolina defunded Planned Parenthood. Now, the sexual and reproductive health care provider had the right to file an administrative appeal with the state, but it missed the deadline.
So it conspired with one of its patients, its clients, to file a federal court lawsuit and got a federal judge to order the state to reinstate Planned Parenthood. And that went up to a court of appeals, which affirmed that. And now the Supreme Court has decided to review the decision, and it will decide whether states have the ability to defund Planned Parenthood as part of their Medicaid program.
For more on this story, visit our website, afn.net. Michigan is outlawing most eggs unless they're cage-free. Fox's Gary Baumgarten reports that means the price of breakfast in the Great Lakes state will most likely rise.
The new law is taking effect even as egg prices are already rising. It means most farms must provide standing space for the hens if they want to sell their eggs. Farms with fewer than 3,000 egg-laying hens are exempt. The Agriculture Department says the average price of cage-free eggs is about 40 cents more a dozen as compared with conventionally farmed eggs.
In final news, FIFA has signed Netflix to a U.S. broadcast deal for the Women's World Cup in 2027, plus the 2031 edition that could be played in the U.S. The deal announced today is the most significant FIFA has signed with a streaming service for a major tournament. Find more news on afn.net. Be sure to subscribe to our free daily email news briefs. You can also follow us on X and like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening.
When you see trash in the media, submit it to 1millionmoms.com. Over the years, 1 million moms and our partners have improved advertising choices of programmers and content seen on TV. Just like you, 1 million moms want to protect little eyes and ears from the trash that could hurt them. So when you see trash in the media, visit 1millionmoms.com. Scroll down and look for the Submit Trash button.
Take it away!
1millionmoms.com.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio, also known as
Learning University.
Learning University is on the air for 24 and a half more minutes, and we're going to repeat our questions, our trivia questions, and then we'll go back to the phones. What are your questions real quick, Ed?
All right. In the 1966 film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what was the name of the person who sang the song? You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. And kind of on that same topic, You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. The song described the Grinch as having a brain filled with what? Mm-hmm. And then third question, what are free radicals? It's multiple choice. Are they escaped communists from prison, liberal professors at the local college, unstable atoms that stress your body, or small blood clots that form after surgery? That's what I've got.
Here's what I've got. First question, given to me from my daughter Tegan. In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father? Second question, how many candles are on a menorah? How many candles are on a menorah? You know, Hanukkah, Christmas, all this wonderful celebrations. Then I'm going to add one. True or false? Some Christmas lights can be seen from space. Is that true or false? Christmas lights can be seen from space. True or false?
I know you can see drones in space over New Jersey.
That's right.
You can see drones from space. All right, my questions are as follows. I got 2 left. How many drummers drumming are there in the song The 12 Days of Christmas? We all know that song, The 12 Days of Christmas. There's one line in there about drummers drumming.
I know how many golden rings because we all belt that out just like we do.
Yes.
Everybody sings that with gusto.
How many drummers drumming, though, are there? And the second question is, and this is for an AFR ball cap. We'll send it to you.
If you don't look it up.
Yes, that's right. If you just know this term because you've studied it in the past or you've heard about it, if you look it up, that's fine, but not for the ball cap. But here's the question. There are a group of people on planet Earth called Jews. I want to know where that term originated. How did they get the name Jews in the first place? All right, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, we go to Georgia, and Georgia, and Jimmy is on the line. Jimmy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Well, welcome. I appreciate it, you
Jimmy,
well-renowned instructors.
Well, thank you, Jimmy.
Well-renowned.
Yes,
I like that, too.
Respected.
Someone else said esteemed.
Yes.
And Jimmy from the land of cotton and peanuts and all the other good things going on there.
Hey, Jimmy, if you don't want to talk about this is okay, but I got to ask you, have you ever cracked corn? And listen, if you have, I'm not judging you, brother. We all, have our.
I put it out there and let the deer do it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir.
Jimmy's never heard that line.
Hey,
before.
Jimmy, and I got to ask you, have you got one yet this year?
A deer?
Yeah.
No, I quit doing that. I can't say I'm too old to hunt, but I just quit. My wife's got a soft heart. She likes to see them eat.
Right.
So I buy the 50-pound bags of corn and put it out behind the house.
So you got all those deer that just come behind your house. Hey, what's your address, Jimmy? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
And when's your wife usually not at home?
Well, if you saw some of the photos we took of some of these bucks out here, you probably want to come down here.
Right. Well, hey, ask, answer, or do both, my friend.
I could answer the one I think about the free radicals.
Okay, you want to try that one?
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, here's the question for those just tuning in. What are free radicals? Are they escaped communists from prison, liberal professors at the local college, unstable atoms that stress your body, or small blood clots that form after surgery? What say you?
I'm going to say unstable atoms.
That's correct. Unstable atoms that stress
Jimmy.
your body.
They stress your body.
They stress. Oh, the stress is just
Jimmy,
is
how do they
enormous.
stress your body? Do you know those free atoms?
Free radicals.
Free radicals.
The free radicals that run around there.
I don't know. I just try to take supplements to keep it from happening.
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, you mean sort of block them off?
Yeah, you
Had 'em
got
off at the pass.
You got to block those free radicals.
Yeah,
If you don't,
I
it causes all kinds of problems.
Well, they get
think that it
radicalized
Yes.
even more.
I guess
if you
I
think about
started
it.
this,
Yeah.
didn't I?
It causes you to forget things, and it causes you to forget things.
And forget you forgot them. All right, Jimmy, way to go, brother.
I got one for y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you know about Charles Lindbergh?
I know he and his family had some great cheese. It got a little stinky if you left it out there on the counter for too many days, but otherwise it was good for recipes. It's healthy and a pretty good aviator.
Yeah.
But the family cheese is what's really people think about.
That Lindberger cheese. Hey, what do you mean? What do we know about him? You want to ask something specific?
I know JJ will be able to answer this question because he's a pilot.
Yes, he is. Of some renown.
Okay. He made that flight from New York to Paris at nonstop transatlantic flight. He was awake for 55 hours, but it took 33 and a half hours to make the flight. Now, JJ knows all that. What I want to know is what there were 5 instruments or main instruments that he used. He had a periscope on that plane, but it wasn't much good. Couldn't see too much in front of him, but the fuel, it couldn't see in front of the plane because that fuel tank up there.
They put an extra fuel tank up there on the hood.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he had fuel in the wings, but they put that big fuel tank up there in front of the cockpit, so he couldn't see out the front. He could see out the side.
Yeah. I'm
but
not
there
getting
were
on that
5
plane.
main instruments. Can you name about 3 of them?
I'll try. The plane was the Spirit of St. Louis. He dozed off a little bit. He got down about 6 feet over the ocean.
Really?
He flew across the ocean in the dark, in the, weather, incredible feat. But I'm sure he had an altimeter. He had a
CD player.
CD player. We don't want to forget that. He had a DG, a compass. He had an altimeter.
You already said that.
Compass, and a. Let's see what else was going to be in that.
He said a periscope.
Basic.
Said he had a periscope.
Yeah, periscope, but it wasn't much. Yeah, I'm trying to think that they're in the planes back a few years. They called it a 6-pack.
What about a stethoscope?
3 on top, 3 on back. Stethoscope, if his heart started.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
wasn't
your third
regular.
one right there.
That's right. Garage door opener. He had that in there. And
hey,
what about it, Jimmy?
Jimmy, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but before he went to Paris, he had to go to Atlanta first, and then Chicago, and then he was able to
and
go.
he lost his luggage. Hey, here's what he had: altimeter. He had a compass. He had a RPM gauge. He had a speedometer and a
what, a gas gauge?
And a gas gauge.
It was called a speed timer.
Speed timer.
He had the compass. He had 2 compasses, earth inductor and magnetic. And then he had a drift sight and an 8-day clock. Don't ask me what an 8-day clock is.
It was a sundial, and it only worked at halfway for about 12 hours. Then it really was kind of obsolete and useless.
You know how much money he made? There was a big businessman that offered this amount of money for anybody that could make the flight nonstop. And I think 2 or 3 pilots tried it and died.
Wow.
You know how much money it was?
Seemed like it was $10,000. Might have been $100,000, but I'm going to say $10,000.
$25,000.
$25,000.
In today's money, that's probably $1 million. I don't know.
Be a lot. Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
buddy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Hey, great.
And then there was a
question.
terrible tragedy scandal about their baby getting kidnapped.
Yes.
That was horrific.
Because he was famous.
Yeah, but what a history maker as far as being an aviator. What kind of courage that took.
Next up.
All right, let's go back to Tennessee, and Tom is on the line. Tom, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
Thank you, Tom.
The honor is ours, sir.
Yes. Thanks for calling. Where do you live in Tennessee?
I live in Chattanooga.
Okay, wonderful. Well, listen, thanks for calling. And you want to ask, answer, or both?
I'd like to do both.
All right, which one do you want to answer?
I want to hear the beloved cowbell.
Well, that's already someone's already won that.
The beloved cowbell was rung for
Frosty. What made Frosty come to life?
I thought the question for the cowbell was the one about the Jews.
Well, you know what? I tell you what we'll do, Tom. I'm feeling Christmas spirit around here.
Oh man, yeah.
If you're charitable, so if you can answer the question about the Jews, then we're going to ring that cowbell.
Did you say without looking it up, or was that something different?
It was that question, but let's just set that aside.
I don't want to be legalistic.
Yeah, let's not be.
Here we go.
Not be legalistic.
I didn't look it up.
We're just a few days away
go
from
ahead,
Christmas.
Tom. So here's the question Tom's going to answer, and get that cowbell ready, Adam. Even though you're an Ole Miss fan, you get it ready over there. Where do you get the term? Where do we get the term Jews, Tom?
Okay, and I didn't look it up, so if I'm wrong, don't blame somebody.
Okay.
Somebody's book.
Okay.
It came from Judea. Well, it came from the tribe of Judah, and the kings of Israel were supposed to come from that tribe. And then when the country split in two, that came, the southern kingdom had the real king was Judea. So Jews comes from the word Judah.
Yes,
Jesus.
yes, you got it.
Oh, nicely
you got it,
done.
brother.
Nicely
We
done.
made your weekend. You heard the
Yes.
beloved cowbell, Tom.
So, in short, what Tom is saying there is the word Jew comes from the term Judah, which is the leading tribe of Israel. A Jew was literally, quote, one from the land of Judah.
Right. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's good
so
trivia.
Judah. So Jews are derived from the word Judah in Israel.
Well,
the
when you're
land
reading your Bible and you see Hebrews, and then God's chosen people, then you see Jacob, but then his name was changed to Israel. I've had to kind of go back and forth in my mind. Oh wait, Israel. Yeah, that's the different tribes of Jacob, and so then you hear
It's all the
Jewish,
same.
all the same.
It's all the same.
And,
Kind of like Caucasians, white people. You mean the
kind
same
of a
thing.
broader term.
Although all white people aren't Caucasians, but a lot of people don't know that.
Is that true?
Huh? You're from Italy.
No, you're talking about
You're Semite,
ethnicity.
right?
Ethnicity, yeah.
But that's a good
I'm
trivia
talking about
question.
interchangeable words to describe a group of people.
Yes.
So,
Hey, stay on the line, Tom. Congratulations. You won yourself
Thank you.
He's got a question for us.
Yeah,
right?
a ball cap and
Yeah, we got to
good.
get you a ball cap sent your way, Tom. All right, Tom, fire away with your question.
Okay, it's a baseball question. I can either tell you the guy's name and you try to tell me his two nicknames, or I can tell you his two nicknames and you can give me his name.
Give us the nicknames.
Okay. His teammates nicknamed him, there was Stan the Man Musial, and he was this pitcher was called Stan the Man Unusual. He was one of these pitchers that acted crazy on the mound.
Oh, you know what? Y'all are going to know the name, but he did his head like a chicken. He threw his head out there like a chicken, and he talked to the ball.
No, you're talking about Mark Fidrich.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking.
Well,
But that isn't who you're talking about.
I don't think that's who he's talking about.
You mean the?
Oh, that's a different team.
What was it? You mean
the
pitcher? What his nickname was? Stan the Man.
Stan the Unusual.
Stan the
Unusual.
Okay. What was his second nickname?
Okay, that was from his fellow teammates. He was a relief pitcher, and his manager gave him the nickname Full Pack because he said he made him so nervous every time he went in a game because he'd make the situation worse before he'd save the game. And his manager said that he had to stay calm. He had to go up the runway where he couldn't be seen.
All
They
right.
weren't allowed to be seen smoking
All right.
and smoke a full pack of cigarettes.
Give us one more clue.
Full pack.
You're gonna have to tell us maybe
the team.
The team. That's the only shot we got here.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either.
The team when he had his several good years was the Baltimore Orioles during the Jim Palmer era.
He was a relief pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Man, I don't.
Is he a household name for baseball fans?
He used to be. I don't know how well known he is now, but
all right.
you
Well,
see him when they
listen.
Go
ahead. Relief pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles.
I mean, they had quite a
that's
staff.
the
Mike
70s.
Cuellar. I mean, they had a great pitching
Yeah,
staff.
they did.
In the 70s.
They did.
I don't know who the reliever was.
I don't know. What's his name?
It was Don Stanhouse.
I remember him. Stanhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he
you
had curly blonde.
smoking cigarettes in the runway by the dugout before he went out there?
No, the manager did. The manager had
Earl
to
Weaver.
smoke a full pack because he made him so nervous.
Which begs the question: you're the manager, and you put him in the game. You doing this to
Well,
yourself?
Tom is saying that he would make things worse, but then he would eventually
He'd always
get
get
them out.
those.
I remember
Yeah.
the name. All right, Tom.
Thanks,
thank
Tom.
you.
I'm going to put you on
That's
hold.
good. That's good trivia.
And Sandy's going to get your information, and we'll get an AFR ball cap out to you.
Next up, Ed.
All right, let's go to Texas and Tuvia.
Tuvia.
I think that's the name, Tuvia or
Tuvia?
Tuvia.
Tuvia.
Welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hi.
Hey, is that how you pronounce your name?
You got it right, Tuvia.
Okay. All right.
Okay. How you spell it? Tuvia.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the first Tuvia I've ever met.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's unique.
Where'd you get that name?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute.
It's like
I'll tell you later.
Family name? Okay, go ahead.
You want to ask?
I do both.
Yeah,
You sure
both,
can.
okay.
Which one you want to answer, Tuvia?
The Elf movie.
Here's the question.
Drama bills.
In the movie Elf, where does Buddy go to find his biological father?
New York.
New York is
New
the
York
answer.
City.
And then my daughter Tegan said either answer, New York or Empire State Building. So, yeah, way to go,
Why did his
Tuvia.
dad work in the Empire State
He
Building?
worked in the Empire State Building.
Okay, James Caan.
Right. Nicely done, Tuvia. Do you have a question for us?
They had a little strained relationship, didn't they? Did they?
There's a lot of the part that you don't see after the movie. A lot of counseling.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. If I had an elf as a son, I don't know how I'd react. I mean, how do we? Does any of us really know?
There's no dress rehearsal for that kind of thing.
So I don't know. You wouldn't-
Not a real
You
precedent.
judge James Caan, and yet you could be that same person.
You could be that same person.
You know what I'm saying?
Have an elf
Yeah.
or a snowman.
Or a snowman.
For a son. You don't
Yeah.
know.
I'd rather have the elf.
How'd you?
I'm gonna go with the elf there. Although the snowman melts, you don't have to pay for his college.
That's right. Move to Florida.
Yeah. All right, Tuvia, go ahead. What's your question for us?
What are the names of the three brothers in Poland who rescued more than 1,200 Jews?
Now,
name?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I wonder if one of them was Tuvia, because she said she'd tell us later on her name.
Well, you're probably right.
I'm going to say one of them was Tuvia.
Ah,
and then we
yes.
got to come
I
up
don't
with
know this
two.
story.
I don't either. 1,200.
Like Anne Frank? I mean, like she rescued Jews during World War II, and you have three Polish brothers that did this? Tuvia, can you tell us the story there real quick?
They hid in the forest. They hid in the forest
Okay.
for like over 2 years.
Oh, this is.
Over 2 years.
There was a movie.
There was a movie
There was a
about
movie
that.
about
Yeah,
this
and
called
had a little
Defiance.
militia. Yes.
Called Defiance.
Yeah, Defiance.
So I think you're right. I think Tuvia is probably one of them, but I don't know the name.
Might have been the leader.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty impressive that I hear her mom as a lifeline in the background. Thank you, Mom, for having Tuvia on the line. But if she named Tuvia after that's pretty
One of those
impressive.
heroes.
Well,
Yeah.
Tuvia, did they
Yeah.
did Zed and JJ have it right?
Tuvia is one of them.
What's the other two?
Zeus and Asael.
Okay.
That's
Did you see this movie yet?
Years ago.
I saw I saw about half of it. Very impressive. They were in the woods and they were in pretty incredible resistance for the longest time.
So the Nazis were after them?
Yeah.
They were hiding they were
Rescuing
Polish,
Jews.
weren't they?
I think you're right.
Yeah, Polish. She said Polish.
Yeah.
Tuvia did. Thank you, Tuvia. That's a great question.
Very,
Is that, are we
yeah.
done here?
And so
Okay.
you were named after
Yeah.
one of those heroes,
Wow.
correct?
So obviously you're from
Yeah.
Polish descent, right?
Actually, German.
German. Okay.
German.
German.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
All right. Well,
Thank
listen.
you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Tuvia.
God bless
So
you. Merry
much.
Christmas.
I was gonna say. I was gonna take a wild guess and say her last name ended with SKI. You know the
Tim, yes.
Polish. You
Yes.
know? Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Would I been right? Probably.
Bolesky.
Isn't that the way the Poles end their last name?
Some,
SKI?
yeah, some do. Yeah.
Most probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that some kind of a ethnic stereotype I wasn't supposed to talk about? Or
I guess we'll find out.
SKI, nothing wrong with SKI.
No, I think that's pretty well known.
Yeah.
That's
just don't say how many. Don't say that, right?
Hey, let's
Don't
move
do it.
on. Orban from Texas.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, now go ahead.
Let's see. We got Jake from Texas. Hi, Jake.
Did you say Orban?
Orban.
I mean, Orban from Texas.
That's me.
Jake's from State
Good
Farm.
morning.
That's right. Hey,
Merry
Orban.
Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Orban, you want to answer, or do both?
I want to do both, but I want to say something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the interview with James Dobson and Bodie, and I wished everybody could hear that interview. That was so sweet. I really appreciated that.
James
Dobson's
Dobson
interview with Bodie.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it? Bodie Bachman? Who was it?
You know, JJ, when James Dobson was interviewing you and talking about Bodie?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bodie wasn't on the show.
No, he was talking about when Melanie and I...
We're on James Dobson's Family Talk show talking about Bodie.
Yes. Thank you for that.
I wish everybody could hear that. It was so sweet.
Well, thank you. So, what did it happen just recently, or are you talking about maybe back in the early fall or something when they re-aired that?
Yeah, it was a while back.
Right. Oh, thank you, Orban. I tell you, he's amazing. That was an honor that they had us on. Hey, we're just about out of time. Orban, ask, answer, or do both.
I'll do both if I got time.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
make it quick.
Which one you want to answer?
The space lights.
Yeah, true or false? Christmas lights can be seen from space. Is that true or false?
I'm inclined to say true.
Release, it's 100% true.
Really?
But enough about Tim Wildmon's neighborhood. The NASA has released images and videos of Christmas lights that can be seen from space.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all. Hey, Orban, we are almost out of time. What's your question for us?
I was going to ask you a real quick question about being a paper boy in Richardson, Texas on Christmas morning. What's the main hazard paper boys had on Christmas morning in Richardson, Texas as a boy?
Just go ahead.
You better tell us.
Just tell us. There's the music.
Okay, it was trying to miss the glass milk bottles.
The glass milk bottles on the front porch.
Wow.
That's a good point.
That's good trivia.
That's back in the 60s.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
like watching Ralphie and some of those other guys on that Christmas movie.
Hey, thank you, Orban.
Yes, sir.
Merry
Orban.
Christmas, Orban.
All right. The name of the person who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" was Thurl Ravenscroft. And the Grinch had a brain filled with spiders. That's from the line. 9 candles on a menorah, 1 for each night of Hanukkah, and 1 extra for the shamash, or the helper candle. So 9 on a menorah.
How many drummers drumming are there in the song "The 12 Days of Christmas"?
10 drummers drumming.
12.
12 drummers
12.
drumming.
12
and 5 golden rings.
A brain full of spiders, huh?
Brain full of spiders.
He can't be responsible for his actions.
Many Christians don't realize that the way they live their life on earth determines the rewards they'll receive in heaven. This Christmas, discover how to live for what truly matters with Hearing Jesus Say, "Well Done."